This video is not intended to inspire any conflicts. It is provided solely for informational purposes, including all content and images. Comparison of military capabilities of Guyana and Venezuela. Comprehensive analysis, made by at Dev Data Planet YouTube channel 2025. General overview. Global Firepower Ranking 2025. Guyana. Not individually ranked by global firepower due to its small size, but significantly weaker than Venezuela. Venezuela. Ranked 50 out of 145 countries, with a power index, POWER index, score of 0.8882, lower is better. Personnel Guyana. 3,400 to 5,000 active personnel, with 670 reservists. With a population of approximately 800,000, Guyana's recruitment pool is limited approximately 15,000 reaching military age annually. Venezuela, 109,000 to 123,000 active personnel, with up to 430,000 reservists and militia. The population of approximately 30 million supports a large recruitment pool, 625,006 reaching military age annually. Venezuela's manpower outnumbers Guyana's by a factor of 25 to 36, providing a significant advantage in any ground-based conflict. However, Venezuela's military suffers from low morale, desertions, over 25% of officers have requested discharge, and poor training due to economic constraints. Military branches. Guyana Army, approximately 3,000 personnel. Navy, approximately 200 personnel. Air Force, approximately 200 personnel. Reserves, approximately 670 volunteer reservists. Venezuela Army, approximately 63,000 personnel. Navy, approximately 25,500 personnel. Air Force, approximately 11,500 personnel. National Guard, approximately 23,000 personnel. Paramilitary OSS militia, up to 220,000 reservists and militia members, bolstered by the national militia created under Hugo Chavez. Strategic context. Guyana. The GDF is oriented toward internal security, counter-narcotics, and border patrol, with minimal capacity for interstate conflict. Guyana relies heavily on international alliances, particularly with the US, UK, and CARICOM, for deterrence. Venezuela. Venezuela's military is one of the largest in Latin America, designed for both internal security and regional influence. However, it faces challenges from corruption, desertions, and maintenance issues due to economic decline. Defense budget. Guyana increased by 85% in 2024 to approximately $200 million, reflecting efforts to bolster defenses amid tensions with Venezuela. Venezuela, approximately $3 billion, estimated at approximately 1 to 2% of GDP, though economic crises limit effective spending. Venezuela ranks 7th in Latin America for military expenditure. Army comparison. Guyana Army tanks and armored vehicles, minimal with 12 FV-101 Scorpion light tanks, 3 FV-107 Scimitar reconnaissance vehicles, 1 FV-105 Sultan command post, 40 FV-601 Saladin armored cars, and 13 RBY-1 reconnaissance vehicles. Some may be in storage or non-operational. Artillery, 6 M46 130mm howitzers range approximately 17 miles in the 21st Artillery Company. Possible storage of 6 Type 63 107mm rocket launchers and 12 D 31 22mm howitzers, but operational status is unclear. Small arms, limited to standard infantry rifles and light weapons with no significant domestic production. Special units. The 31st Special Forces Squadron is trained for airborne, riverine, and jungle operations, suitable for guerrilla tactics in Essequibo's jungle terrain. Analysis. Venezuela's land forces significantly outmatch Guyana's in quantity and diversity of equipment. However, Guyana's small, agile units are better suited for defensive guerrilla warfare in the dense Essequibo jungle, where heavy armor is less effective. Venezuela's maintenance issues could limit its effectiveness. Army comparison. Venezuela Army tanks, approximately 200 main battle tanks, including Soviet-era T-72B1 and older AMX-30S. Maintenance issues render some inoperable, e.g. gun sights failed during a 2008 border standoff. Armored vehicles, approximately 600 vehicles, including BMP-3 infantry fighting vehicles, V-100/150 Commando APCs, and light reconnaissance vehicles. Artillery, 9 battalions of towed artillery, 105mm and 155mm from the U.S. and Italy, and 2 battalions of 2 S-19 Mestas 152mm self-propelled howitzers, range approximately 18 miles. Also includes heavy rocket artillery systems, small arms, approximately 100,000 AK Kalashnikov rifles manufactured domestically, special units. The 11th Armored Brigade and 6th Engineering Corps are active in the Essequibo border region, constructing bases like a tankadromo on Anacoco Island. Air Forces. Guyana Air Force's combat aircraft, none. The GDF Air Corps operates a few light transport and reconnaissance aircraft, such as Bell 412 helicopters and Cessna 206. Helicopters, limited to a small number of transport helicopters, e.g. Bell 206. No attack helicopters. Air defense. No comprehensive air defense systems, leaving Guyana vulnerable to air assaults. Operations, reliant on U.S. and U.K. overflights for monitoring Venezuelan movements. Analysis. Venezuela's Air Force dwarfs Guyana's, with superior fighters and air defense systems. However, maintenance issues and grounded aircraft reduce its effective strength. Guyana's lack of air combat capability makes it reliant on international support for air defense. Venezuela Air Forces, combat aircraft, none. The GDF Air Corps operates a few light transport and reconnaissance aircraft, such as Bell 412 helicopters and Cessna 206. Helicopters, limited to a small number of transport helicopters, e.g. Bell 206. No attack helicopters. Air defense, no comprehensive air defense systems, leaving Guyana vulnerable to air assaults. Operations, reliant on U.S. and U.K. overflights for monitoring Venezuelan movements. Analysis. Venezuela's Air Force dwarfs Guyana's, with superior fighters and air defense systems. However, maintenance issues and grounded aircraft reduce its effective strength. Guyana's lack of air combat capability makes it reliant on international support for air defense. Guyana Naval Forces vessels. Small naval component with approximately 200 personnel operating a few patrol crafts, e.g. GDFS Essequibo. No major combat vessels. Capabilities, focused on coastal patrol and counter-narcotics, with no capacity for naval warfare against Venezuela. Equipment, limited to small patrol boats, insufficient for defending Guyana's offshore oil fields. Analysis: Venezuela's navy is far superior, capable of blockading Guyana's coast or supporting amphibious operations in Essequibo. Guyana's minimal naval presence relies on U.S. and UK naval support for deterrence. Venezuela Naval Forces vessels. Modern naval vessels, including frigates, corvettes, and patrol boats. The Navy has approximately 25,500 personnel and is equipped for coastal and riverine operations. Capabilities: recent incursions into Guyana's territorial waters, e.g., 2025 naval vessel incident, demonstrate Venezuela's ability to project naval power. Riverine units operate on the Cuyuni River near Essequibo. Equipment includes missile-armed frigates and amphibious vessels like V-100/150 Commando APCs for riverine operations. Strategic support. Guyana Support allies. Strong support from the U.S., UK, Brazil, and CARICOM. The U.S. conducts joint military exercises, e.g. flight drills, in December 2023, and provides intelligence via satellite imagery. The UK sent a warship in 2023, and Brazil reinforced its border to deter Venezuelan aggression. Regional agreements. Guyana's membership in the Regional Security System, RSS, could trigger a collective response under Article 4 if attacked, though CARICOM's military capacity is limited. Essequibo strategy. Guyana relies on diplomacy, e.g. International Court of Justice litigation, and international deterrence to counter Venezuela's claims, while increasing its defense budget to bolster the GDF. Venezuela support allies, Russia, China, and Iran, provide arms and diplomatic support. Russia supplies Sukhoi fighters, T-72 tanks, and M1 Tor systems, while China provides K-8 aircraft. Challenges: economic sanctions and domestic crises limit Venezuela's ability to maintain its arsenal. Desertions and corruption further weaken operational readiness. Essequibo strategy. Venezuela's military buildup near the Essequibo border, e.g. Anacoco Island Base, Tancadromo, and referendum rhetoric suggest a compellent strategy, combining military threats with diplomacy to pressure Guyana. Key advantages. Guyana. Defensive terrain. Essequibo's jungle and Guyana's small, agile units favor guerrilla tactics over Venezuela's heavy armor. International support, U.S., UK, and Brazilian backing provides intelligence, training, and potential military intervention. Diplomatic leverage. Guyana's position is supported by the 1899 Arbitral Award and ICJ litigation, strengthening its international standing. Venezuela. Numerical superiority, 25 to 36 times more personnel than Guyana, with a large reservist pool. Heavy weaponry. T-72 tanks, Sukhoi fighters, and M1 Tor systems provide firepower Guyana cannot match. Naval projection, capable of coastal and riverine operations to pressure Guyana's maritime and border regions. Key limitations. Guyana. Small force. 3,400 to 5,000 personnel cannot sustain a conventional defense against Venezuela. Lack of heavy weapons, no combat aircraft, limited artillery, and minimal naval assets leave Guyana vulnerable to air and sea attacks. Economic dependence. Guyana's oil-driven economy relies on offshore fields, which Venezuela could target. Venezuela. Maintenance issues. Poor upkeep renders many tanks and aircraft inoperable, e.g., grounded F-16s. Desertions and morale. Over 25% of officers have sought discharge, and economic crises reduce soldier motivation. Terrain challenges. Essequibo's dense jungle and swamps hinder heavy armor and large-scale operations. Essequibo dispute context background. The Essequibo region, 160,000 square kilometers, approximately 74% of Guyana's territory, is rich in oil, gas, and minerals. Venezuela claims it based on historical boundaries, rejecting the 1899 arbitral award. A 2023 referendum saw 95% of Venezuelans support annexation, though turnout and legitimacy are disputed. Military posture. Venezuela has increased its presence near Essequibo, with construction on Anacoco Island, seized in 1966, and exercises involving tanks, APCs, and aircraft. No full-scale invasion preparations are confirmed as of 2025. Guyana's response. Guyana monitors Venezuelan movements via U.S. satellite imagery and has intensified U.S. and CARICOM cooperation. The GDF's small size limits its role to a tripwire force, aiming to delay an invasion until international support arrives. Conclusion. Venezuela holds a significant military advantage over Guyana in manpower. 109,000 to 123,000 versus 3,400 to 5,000. Heavy weaponry, 200 tanks, 100 aircraft versus minimal assets, and naval capabilities. However, its operational effectiveness is hampered by maintenance issues, desertions, and economic constraints, reducing its ability to sustain a prolonged campaign in Essequibo's challenging terrain. Guyana, while vastly outmatched, benefits from defensive geography, international alliances, US, UK, Brazil, and diplomatic legitimacy. In a conflict, Guyana's strategy would rely on guerrilla resistance and external intervention, as it cannot match Venezuela conventionally. The risk of escalation remains low due to international pressure and Venezuela's internal challenges, but Maduro's rhetoric and military posturing keep tensions high. Thanks for watching.